The Treasury Minister, Danny Alexander, says it's an exciting day.
If you go down to branches of some of those banks today, you'll be able to go and have, perhaps for the first time, a conversation about a mortgage that you might be able to afford. And that will mean that you can start the process of buying a house, something an awful lot of people on low and middle incomes who don't have wealthy parents to rely on to pay for their deposit would love to be able to do, but have been excluded from for quite a few years.
Well, Danny Alexander's very excited. Jonathan Davis is an economist and wealth manager from Hertfordshire. He joins me on the line now. Are you excited, Jonathan?
I'm depressed more than excited, I guess.
Why?
Because what this does is it sucks even more people or suckers into taking out vast debt to, quote, buy, unquote, an asset which has been in a bubble for years, and once that bubble bursts, which inevitably it will do because all bubbles burst, they will be left with vast debts. And you know what? Because the economy will go down the pan, they might not even have an income.
It does seem odd that to help people buy. So how this works? In they can get 95% mortgages. Is that right?
Yeah. So long as you have a decent income just now and a 5% deposit on the price of the property that you want to buy, then yes, you can. There's basically no reason why you shouldn't be able to get a 95% mortgage.
To me, it doesn't sound very safe. You're right. People are losing. Who knows what's going to happen this afternoon? I might get the phone call saying, "Yep, listen, don't come in tomorrow." People are losing their jobs, and a 95% mortgage is massive, isn't it?
Well, it is, and of course, it was high loan-to-value mortgages that got us into the problems of our economy in the first place. And obviously, if there's a lot of debt in society, then at some point that piper has to be paid. So, the assumptions in all these schemes is that house prices will never fall. And the one thing I think your listeners who are interested in this scheme need to bear in mind is that interest and mortgage rates are probably the lowest today that they're ever going to be. They're the lowest in 300 years. Thus, where are interest rates going to be in a few years' time, in 10 years' time? I suggest they're going to be a great deal higher than they are right now.
The government is really keen to push this. They brought stage 2 of this forward by a few months. Why are they so keen to do it? Do they not see the potential problems?
They don't care about the potential problems. All politicians, on the left and the middle or the right, all they care about is elections. And there is no doubt, just like Gordon Brown and Ed Balls did a few years ago, supporting the housing market and house prices, the current coalition government doing the exact same thing. Why? Because rising house prices is a vote winner for incumbent politicians, and falling house prices is a vote loser. And you know what? There's a major European election next year, and then, of course, the general election is the year after.
Can't they just build some more houses? Would that not help the situation for first-time buyers?
I'm not convinced that it would. I know that is the standard argument put out by all and sundry, including, if I may say, the media. That's the answer. Well, you know what? We had a lot of house building, before, and it didn't stop house price crashes. No, the answer is something which we almost never hear of in the media, and certainly not by politicians, is that we should take away interest rate setting from the academic ivory tower merchants in the Bank of England, and we should let the market set interest rates. Interest rates would be higher than they are today. That would bring down house prices. That's the way to help young folk, not to increase house prices.
Jonathan, final question. It's been revealed this week that rents in Buckinghamshire, among the highest in the country, increased by 9% in the last year. What does that mean for the housing economy as a whole?
It doesn't doesn't mean anything for the housing economy. Whole Buckinghamshire, that's where all the millionaires and billionaires live. So of course rents are going to be high in Buckinghamshire. But in Bedfordshire and Hertfordshire, as more related to the real economy, to real people's lives, rents have not been rising much, if at all, in the last few years. In fact, as a wealth manager, we have a client. I mean, this may not be representative for the country as a whole, but it is a fact that we have a client who is renting a particularly nice house in Hertfordshire at £2,100 a month. I know that sounds a lot of money, but it's £1 million house. And secondly, 5 years ago, it was £3,000 a month. So, whatever happens in Buckinghamshire is not the real world. It's like Kensington and Chelsea.